Something really interesting. Um, I sometimes donate my time with a group called Serving Hope LV, right? And the gentleman, his name is Silo Moses. And he said that he started it because he was homeless once, and he got homeless because he lost his job. The reason I'm bringing this up is because there are people out there who are a paycheck away from being homeless, and they don't even realize it, and they're just existing. That's why I'm bringing this up. And they're not open to other ways of making money, and they only have one stream of income, and that stream of income really isn't working out if you're only one check away from homelessness, right? And here's one of the things that I saw Silo speak recently. And Silo said that when he became homeless, somebody homeless once said to him, "You know what? If you go down the road at 12 o'clock, they have lunch for us, so you don't have to go hungry." And he said, "You know what? They all went right, and then I went left." He goes, "Because if I figured out how to survive being homeless, I would have never been able to stop being homeless." Heard him speak, he said, "When they went right, I went left." And that's
because he didn't want to. If he said if he figured out how to survive as a homeless person, he will never become not homeless.
Yes.
That makes so much sense. That's really good.
And here's the thing. He was homeless, I think it was for 9 months, right? And here's the powerful part. You could look him up. Silo Moses, Serving Hope LV. He feeds homeless every Monday in Las Vegas. Last year he fed 64,000 homeless people. And not even just homeless people. We'll say sometimes these people they got paid on the first of the month, and the month ran a little bit longer than their money. Okay, so Silo, he just comes from this place, and when he said he went homeless, right? He said he reached out to his mother, and his mother was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna help you." And he was like, he expected his mom to help him, to enable him. And he said, at the time he didn't feel that was the best thing that she should have did, but he said at the time it was the best thing that she should have did. And then he said the next phone call he made was to his former boss. And his former boss said to him, "Listen, I just put money down on an office, and I'm not going to be continuing with it. I'm not making next month's payment. I'll give you the keys. You can stay there till you get kicked out." And that office had a broken down laptop that could only open 2 windows. And if it opened more than 2 windows, it would crash. He said he spent 8 hours a day applying for jobs, wearing the same outfit that he had when he lost his apartment. He said he went on over 40 interviews.
Wait, how many hours a day did he do looking for a job?
8.
Okay, good.
And he would set up interviews. Now, he could have had a lot of self-sabotage. His self-sabotage could have been like, "Well, I haven't showered since like 9 months ago," right? Who's going to hire a homeless person? I mean, imagine the amount of self-sabotage one could have with themselves if they haven't showered, they haven't shaved, they're wearing clothes. I can't even imagine what he smelled like. Don't want to, right? But he knew that he wanted to be not homeless more than he was worried about what somebody thought. And he said that when he went on these interviews, the first thing that would happen is he would walk in looking like a homeless guy, and the receptionist would jump up and she'd run up to him and she'd say, "No, no, 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 you can't come in here, you can't come in here." And his answer would be, "No, I have an interview." And it's like, "No, you don't. Bye." And he said that happened to him over 40 times. But he never gave up. So one day, he had an interview at 1 o'clock, and he walked in, and the place did not have a receptionist. He just walked right into the bullpen where people were doing sales, right? And then the guy who was the owner walked up to him, and the guy who was the owner said, "You're Silo, my 1 o'clock, huh?" And Silo said yes. And the owner of the company interviewed him. And the owner of the company said, listen, I pay on commission only. So if you want to start, you can start tomorrow. Silo said in the first week he made $400. He found a way and negotiated with somebody that he could rent a room from them. And then from there, he became the best salesperson. He went from staying in a room to walking to then taking the bus to taking a moped to driving a car. And then when he got back on his feet, one day he was in his apartment and he decided to make a pot of spaghetti. And that pot of spaghetti he then fed 30 people with that pot of spaghetti, and then he did it the next week, and then obviously 3 years later, he's driven by passion. All because he had, he just knew he didn't want to fail. He didn't want to stay where he was. And even though Silo is homeless, there's some people who wake up on Monday and dread their lives, and they're just existing, and they can't stand anything that they do. They hate their lives so much. I think they hate their spouse, they hate their kids. They've got nothing. They're just gloom and doom. They need lots of coffee to stay conscious.